treasures of kings. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also, my wisdom remained with me. See, I'm drunk, but my wisdom remained with me. I'm high, but my wisdom remained with me. I'm sick inside because all I'm doing is really enjoying the things that I could amass. Yeah, I know. But ain't it something? The more you get, it's like the more you want. You never seem to get enough. And then what? You got a big house, but in the end, they put you in the same box with the fool that never had nothing. And then they put you in the ground with the man that didn't strive for nothing. He becomes dust, and so does the rich man. How are you better? See, the more you amass of personal wealth, then you have children that you're going to pass it to that may not work like you. That's a heck of a thing, man. You work all your life and then give it to somebody who messes it up in 6 months. Have you seen that happen? Solomon was a mess. He said, wow. He said, I turn myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which has already been done. There's nothing new under the sun, he says. What was, it is. And what is, shall be. Now, you see these movies when they go back in time and give you historical films of great ones that lived. Check it out. They rode horses. Where are the horses today? Oh, they're gone. Sure. But are there horses today? Yeah. Well, the wise men of yesterday, what did they come into this life any different from you? They didn't. Did Jesus and Moses and the kings and the prophets come into birth any different than you? Did their mother carry them in the womb for 9 months with fainting and pain and bring them forth? Yes, ain't nothing new. They saw clouds, you see clouds. They saw sun, moon, and star. You look up and see the same thing that people have been looking at for millions of years. They are gone, but the sun is here. Why is there no permanence for us? Elijah Muhammad teaching us how to eat to live. But he can't keep death away from us. Well, I'm going to eat one meal every week. Well, my intention is to stay here. Oh, very good, very good. Stay as long as you can. But nobody can outrun death. The Quran says death will overtake you wherever you are, in the highest mountain, deep in a valley. Go in a cave and shut yourself off, you see, thinking that you run away from disease and death. But no matter where you go, death will find you. So the end of life is for all of us to experience. So if you want to check it out, go out to a cemetery and look at names engraved in stone, because that's the only way they have any remembrance beyond their time. Oh, look, this is Mr. Worthington right here, yeah. Who was he? I don't know. Go ask his children. They remembered him, but the further you get away from the parent, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, they don't remember you. Hell, some of your children don't remember you. So life is to be lived. That's your portion. Your portion under the sun is the life that you got and what you do with it, because when death overtakes you, who the heck is going to remember you? Solomon said, you know, it was a little town and there were a few people in it, and a king came and besieged the town. And there was a poor wise man in the town, and he delivered the town and died, and don't nobody remember him. How many of you really think you're going to be remembered? And ask yourself, how many do you remember? You have friends and family that was real close to us. When they die, life goes on. You bury your homies, you bury your partners, you bury your wives and children and husbands, but life goes on. In a few days, you laugh again, you cry again, and every now and then, you remember even those that were the closest to you, like mama and dad, grandma, that did so much for you, but you go on with your life. And then you sit down someday and you see a picture. Oh yeah, that's my grandmama. Man, she was great. Did you think that time was not going to touch us? So what are you doing with your time? See, you got to understand the value and purpose of life. Now, all that you got, God gives each of us the ability to reproduce. The horse that was there 1,000 years ago is here today because God gave the horse reproductive organs. You have reproductive organs. That's the only way you're going to stay around. Hey, that's my son. That's my grandson. That's you going on in an age that you won't live to see. Think about that. You come here, you don't want no children. Fine. When you die, that's the end of you. Your line is finished. And some of you making babies don't even know where your babies are, haven't looked after them, haven't considered that what you're doing is preparing either death or life for your future. I'm talking about life. You have a sperm. That's life, brother. That's your life in a future time that you're not going to be around to see it all. So now what are you doing with your body? Well, hell, man, if I got to die, what the hell is the sense of living right? Some of you ask a stupid question like that. Well, hell, if I can't live forever, why should I waste my time trying to be righteous? You better be wise. I'm going to tell you why you should do something to be better. Look at the dope you may have smoked last night. I don't know. Look at this, you snorting some cocaine, or shooting some heroin, or drinking excessively Red Bull or something. Is that a drink for young people today? Is it alcoholic? No, huh? But it's killing you. Don't you think they're making something good for you? You just don't know the value of the chemistry that you're drinking, or the McDonald's that you're eating, or the Wendy's or the Taco Bell. It's killing you. But what do you know? What do you care? You're going to die anyway, so I might as well die happy. So I'm going to smoke me a joint and die. Or I'm going to go out here and get drunk, have some sex, and die. That's what I'm going to do. See that? I mean, that's a fool, you know. But fools and wise men, all of them die. Man spent all his life amassing things and then dies. And when he gets sick, you know, the family comes. You know how families are. They love you to death. They come around. You ever watch vultures? How they can smell death, and you see them just flying, you know. They say, that meal is coming, man. I'm just gonna keep flying, because I know that thing is dying, boy. And the minute it dies, I got me a meal. Let me check how many other vultures are hanging around. And families can become like that. You look at your parents working hard all their lives and get a little something. And when they get sick, you start thinking about, what is he going to leave me? Not what you can get up off your behind and do for yourself. That's a nice watch. Grandma, she's sick too. I'm gonna get that watch. Look at you. Just look at what you do for things. You're deceitful. You play with your grandmother and make her think you really love her, but you just want to get close so in her dying she could leave you something. But she gave you the greatest gift of all. She passed your mother to you, and she passed life to you. The question is, what are you doing with your life? Now look, no matter what you do with your life, you that try to make something out of yourself, then your neighbors get envious of you. How many of you have experienced envy from your friends or even family members when you start achieving something? You've experienced it, right? But now look, what does that do to your spirit? You here working hard to make something of yourself, and then someone close by is looking at you and hating on you for your hard work for yourself. So when you lay down at night, your achievement becomes vexation of the spirit. Look at Michael Jordan. Was he a great basketball player? Did he give his life and time to making himself the best that he could be? How many people hated him for his success. Poor fella. We thought he'd be 100 years before you see somebody his equal. 20 years went by. Here come LeBron James, here come Kobe, here come Carmelo Anthony. People just saying, well, move over, baby. I'm here now. Why are you here now? Because it's my time. Time brings us on the stage and time takes us off. You gotta know that time is the winner all the time. It replaces you no matter how good you are. I was with Muhammad Ali one day when Ali was at the prime. When Ali stepped on the street, people come from anywhere. They just heard, Ali is there, Ali is there. And I remember in New York, we were at the restaurant, the Muslim restaurant, and Ali came. Don King came. A lot of big folk came, and little folk came by the hundreds because they heard Ali was there. And guess who was in the crowd? One of the greatest fighters of yesterday, Sugar Ray Robinson. How many of you know something about Sugar Ray Robinson? Now, Sugar stopped fighting. Time took him off the scene. Ali was on the scene. Ali said, hey, do you know that this is the greatest fighter? Man, I style my dance after Sugar Ray. And Sugar was in the audience. The people turned and looked at Sugar and turned right back to Ali. You know why? You gotta know when it's time. You gotta know when it's time. Nothing lasts forever but God. Generations come and generations go, but the earth abides forever. I'm going to read something to you, then we can get this thing wrapped up. Look at Solomon. Boy, I really love this subject, you know, because I studied it as a young minister and fasted for days for God to give me understanding. And my understanding keeps growing, and I've been looking at it, and I'm looking at my life. See, if you look at that and don't look back at yourself, you know, when you don't have nothing, you get attracted to things that you would like to have. I was like that. Notice I put it in the past. I was like that. I mean, I remember I wanted a, diamond ring, and I got one, So when you get the little diamonds, you know how you do. Yeah. You want somebody to look at you and think that you are better than they because you got a bling bling. Not a real thing, because the real thing is wisdom. When you shine with wisdom, but even that, you can't get it all. Solomon tried, man. He tried to get as much as he could, but he left so much here that he never touched. And no matter how wise you may think we are, the Quran says it best. It says, if The trees were as pens, and the seas, with 7 more added to it, were as ink. You could never exhaust the words of Allah. The Quran says every creature, everything that He created is a word. So no matter how much you study, and we should be found studying, but you can't get it all. You can get your portion, but don't get carried away with your stupidity. See, when you get knowledge and think that knowledge has made you superior, think about God. Because everything you're looking at is what He created, and some things you know, some things you don't know, some things you will never know. So who are you that we should worship you because you got a little bit? That's why in Islam we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness there is no God but Allah. There's nothing and no one worthy to be worshipped but the one who originated all of this that we are blessed to live in. I got a few more things I want to say. I was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one day, and I don't know what possessed him to talk to me like this, but looking back at it, I can see. He said, brother, listen to these words. He said, when you find out who you are, you will have to struggle to hold yourself down. There's something about self-knowledge that exalts you that can also be a means of your own destruction. If you think more of yourself than you should. Now listen. This particular day, he looked at me and he said, brother, he said, you're not tall enough to equal yourself up to the mountains. And you're not heavy enough to step through the earth. So learn to take your place among the creatures. Allah loves those who are humble. He hates the self-conceited boaster. Said, you can tell the righteous, for they walk the earth in humility. Wait. As I think about him, and I think about something I read of Solomon, he was sad that everything that he had devoted his life to build, that when he was gone, it would be in the hands of someone who would destroy it all. He said to me, he said, the nation is going to fall. He said, but when I think about it, it's like a knife turned burning in my stomach. And as I was reading Solomon today, I said, oh yes, Solomon. He had all that he had built, but when he was gone, it too was gone, because that which came after him was not prepared to take it to another level. So Elijah Muhammad said the nation was going to fall. He said, but it would rise and never fall again. So he also said to me, through you, I will get all my people. So I think about what God has laid on me to do to make sure that the nation rises and will never fall again. He knew it would fall. Jesus knew too. He said, except a kernel of corn fall to the earth and die, it cannot bring up a new stalk. And as I look at this, vanity, Solomon said, rejoice, young man, in your youth. Let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth, and walk in the ways of your heart and in the sight of your eyes. But know you that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. So in your youth, you may walk after your heart, walk after your eyes, whatever you see that you think will make you happy. Go ahead, but know that in what you seek in your youth, know that days will come when it will be required of you. Listen, listen. There's something you have to do before time comes, when the days won't be good to you, young man, anymore. When the days won't be pleasant to you, young woman, anymore. Like the mother that you got in a home now. Like the father that's languishing in some unremembered place. Lying in its own excrement. Nobody to care for your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather that cared for you. Know that your time is coming when the days won't be kind to you anymore, that life won't be pleasing to you anymore, because you'll have aches and pains, and your eyes will grow dim, and your hearing will fall away from you, and don't even think about sex. That's over. He said, but there's all these vanities. They bring judgment into your life. So there's a way to live your life, that your life has meaning. There's a way to use the time that God has given us to make time for us meaningful, because time always wins we lose, and nobody can tell us what will be after us. We do the best we can while we're here, but when you're gone, you can't look after your children no more. You can't look after the things that you helped to build anymore. And unless you have people around you that love what you love and want to keep it going, so I'm saying to these young student ministers, I have you all referring to yourself as a student. The world doesn't understand that. Why does he call them student minister? Because I don't ever want us to arrogate to ourselves that we have become what we are studying to become. We're a long way from being what we should become. So I'm looking at Ishmael. I'm looking at these young ministers. What will you do after me? If your heart is filled with these vanities, where you want to exalt yourself and not God, then the nation will die again under your leadership. When hearts are sick with desire for self-exaltation, want people to look up to us, want people to admire us for our ignorance that is called wisdom. Who the hell are you? Who am I that I should seek people's honor of me for the little that I know when there's so much more to learn? And who am I or you that you should want your imperfect self to be worshiped by fellow travelers in imperfection like yourself? Jesus, the Christ, offered a way out of this. I used to glory in things. I have to tell you the truth. I love black people. I love the work, but I like nice cars. What, did I say something wrong? Don't you remember when you were younger, we'd be in the window, my car, and you didn't have nothing? That's my car. My car. And we are saddled in poverty. See these white people, you see them on their skateboard? We invented that. You didn't invent a damn thing. We had skates. And when our skate would break down, we would get a 2x4 and take our skate and nail it to the board, and you saw it and develop a skateboard, and you made money, and we still poor. But now you got a big company, you got money, you got a fine home, and the vultures are gathering. I told you before, when I was with this very rich Jewish man, I was in his penthouse apartment, and he wanted to impress me like all the other Negroes that had been in his apartment. He wanted to impress me with his havingness. He was a jackass, right? But you can have, but damn it, if you don't have sense with what you have, you end up with nothing. So some of you running after having things and end up with nothing, because having means to have the right mind with what you have. Now watch this. This man says to me, his father and grandfather were the originators of Seagram's. Some of you drink that, right? So I was in his house, and man is a multi-billionaire. I'm sitting in his house. I ain't got, a lot of money and nothing like that. So he figured he's going to impress me. He says, Mr. Farrakhan, would you like a drink? Oh, I said, no, sir. Mr. Bronfman, I don't drink. He said, do you drink orange juice? I said, yes. He said, well, that's me. He said, do you listen to music? I said, yes. He said, well, that's me. Do you go to the movies? I said, yes, sometimes. He said, well, that's me. I said, oh, Mr. Bronfman. I said, I know you're a powerful man. I didn't want to tell him the other part of my statement. With those who are dumb enough to think that you got real power. See, you only have power with those who are enamored by what you think is power. I'm not enamored with a damn soul that think they got power, because I have a source that is all powerful. So I said, Mr. Bronfman, when the God that we serve comes after you with all that you have, you don't have the power to keep yourself here one fraction of a second beyond your time. Okay. He still didn't take that too well. Some white folk don't like it when black folk don't bow. I'm sorry, I'm one of those that don't bow. Listen, wait. Bring me truth. I bow to that. Not to you. You're carrying something that's bigger than yourself. You didn't hear me. Once you begin to equate yourself with the truth that you carry, you've lost it. Did you hear what I just said? How can we escape this vanity? How can we escape this worthless existence, this emptiness in our lives, though we claim to have so much? How can we escape being excessively proud of ourselves and our qualities or possessions? How can we escape this self-conceit? Look at what Solomon says. There's an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there's one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live, and after that they go to the dead. For him that is joined to all the living, there's hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. The lion may have been king while he was alive, but when he's dead, a dog can go over to the lion and lift his leg and urinate, and the lion have no power to say, don't do that. How many times have you visited the funeral parlor and seen great ones laying there? The thing that made you admire them is gone now. Their beautiful voices that sang to us, they're silent now. The doctor with the great surgical skill, his hands are folded because it's over now. He has joined himself on to the dead. He said, the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. But listen to this. Neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. So how can God improve the condition of a dead man? When we say the janazah prayer, we say improve, his condition. How do you improve the condition of a dead man? How do you improve the condition of life except that the dead that die go back into the earth and fertilize the earth to bring up something new that is stronger and better? Your life is in your children. If you live a good life, God, seeing the goodness of your life, will grant your reward that you earn from your goodness. It will come to your children. And in our janazah prayer service, we say, and do not deprive them of my reward. Because you that are living, you have power now to do something about the quality of the way you live your life. But if you live it just for pleasure, just for folly, just for foolishness, just for more vanity, so you could say, I'm better than that one, I'm richer than that one, I have more than that one, then all your life is vanity. We can escape this. In the book of Proverbs, I think it's the 6th chapter. Let me read it for you. Oh, I'm so happy to be with you today. I don't come out that much, As I want the young ones, I want to see how they handle things, because that's what they're going to have to do when I'm gone. And you that worship me, you're in bad shape. You that think that there's nothing better than Farrakhan, you're in bad shape. Because God